Welcome to B&W Bites, a taste of industry news. I'm your host, Mark Seifert. Today, we'll talk to Andy Zaletel, and we'll fly into the world of spatial technology, where we'll rapid fire 5 questions in under 5 minutes. Let's get going. Welcome, Andy. Thanks for coming down for the 5 in 5.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Tell me about yourself and what is spatial technology?
Sure. So I've been in the GIS/spatial technology world for just about 25 years now. I started off with the federal government with US EPA, went from there and helped implement and manage GIS for a couple of local municipalities. And then the past 19 and a half years or so, I've been with B&W in multiple roles here. I started off as the department manager for GIS, helped to see that kind of grow and work its way into the survey and GPS component of it and how GIS relates to that. And now I do business development for our spatial technology group. Spatial technology in general is we could sit here, Mark, we could sit here a while and talk about that. But to sum it up, spatial technology is a science of where. So it's where something is, what it is, and how it relates to the things around it. And then kind of the last part of that is, why is it there? How are we evaluating the information that's being collected, and how does it relate to the things around it? Take, for example, like a water system. So if we're collecting the locations of valves and hydrants, as part of that, you want to know how they're connected. So you got to put the mains in and understand the service lines and mains, and then that full understanding of the network as a whole.
Right.
So I think that's kind of the spatial technology component. Now there's pieces that go into that on how do we get that information? How do we collect it?
Right.
So that's kind of those next steps.
What are the major core components of our spatial technology group?
So our group has 5, and I'll kind of use GIS as the overarching kind of component to that. The reason for that is, as you're going to hear, the other components to it are all about data collection. It's about collecting information. The GIS is kind of the place where that data is being processed and disseminated. After GIS, we have survey and GPS data collection. We have our visualization group. We have drones, again, both aerial and water-based. And then we have our field data collection. So all those pieces kind of come together, and they really, a lot of times on a lot of projects, actually are using just about every piece of that. So our survey and GPS group or portion of our group are the ones that are collecting that information in the field. Traditional survey, we have GPS-based services too for that collection. And they kind of interact more with the drone side too, because we do have a portion of our drone fleet that are survey grade. We have LiDAR-based data collection and things like that. And then visualization. The visualization group is everything from providing information publicly, whether it's for public information, it's for construction progress reporting, it's for things like we're doing here today, and then field-based services, again, on how all those things tie together, whether it's RPR services and data collection, things along those lines.
Very cool. So spatial technology is definitely changing the landscape in local municipalities. From traditionally using spatial technology in public works, it's now infiltrating other parts of a municipality. Talk about how it just infiltrated every piece of a municipality.
Sure. So we're seeing it everything from village manager's office to the emergency response to police and fire, community development and economic development. So it's things like in police and fire and emergency response, we're seeing incident mapping, and we're seeing the ability to start showing where incidents are happening, and then also how the response times and how their kind of monitoring of those can be done as well. So it gets into the predictive side of things as well.
What's on the horizon in spatial technology?
So that's obviously always a loaded question because sometimes we don't know. But I think the most important thing is looking at how this equipment and these pieces that go along with spatial technology are becoming more inexpensive. Not only that, they're easier to use. So we're seeing that both from the implementation from our end and being able to have our staff be able to operate this equipment, but then also we're seeing it on the client side of things as being able to use that equipment, again, both inexpensively, but then also easy to use. So we're seeing that with pavement management and AI and the ability to start using artificial intelligence to start collecting information and processing it as well.
So Baxter Woodman, we're on the forefront of spatial technology. How can we help every municipality out there, whether they have huge GIS budgets, small GIS budgets? How can we help?
Well, I would probably say the biggest part of this is our ability to be able to sit and help discuss these things. We call things called vision casting, right? There's a lot of those types of meetings where we're talking with clients about, again, not only just budget, but also where are they seeing the biggest bang for their buck, where they're seeing their greatest need, whether it's in data collection, it's in access to information, it's for public relations, things along those lines. So I think That's the hope with this, is that you actually get in front of them and you can have these conversations and help to determine what the best route for spatial technology might be for them.
Thanks for coming down for the 5 and 5 today.
Hey, thanks for having me.
And if you liked what you heard in the 5 and 5, tune into our B&W Insights podcast where we have a full conversation with Andy about spatial technology. For our entire team here at Baxter Woodman, check to see what's on the menu next.